Hey guys, Ben Fama Jr. here. I'm here with Kathy Hoffman. Maybe you can tell us a little bit why you're out here today at the Secular Coalition for Arizona, and what are you running for today?
Well, I am a public school teacher, and I am running for Superintendent of Public Instruction.
Okay, and what made you decide to run for a candidate? What got under your skin and decided, hey, I need to be out there saying something?
Well, I work in special education at a Title I school, and I feel strongly that our students need a strong advocate at every level of government. So right now I advocate for my students at the school setting, but our students need advocates at every level for all of our students.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think it's a really challenging time for people in education right now, and I think a lot of people are really struggling and really angry at the way the system is. What's your perception of what you see is the problem with government when it comes to education right now?
Well, right now our schools are severely underfunded, and some of the schools in Arizona, like private schools or some charter schools, don't have the transparency and accountability that a public school has. So I feel strongly that we need to restore funding to our public schools and make sure that all schools, whether they're public, private, charter school, that all schools have accountability and transparency.
Now, there's obviously a lot of people that are upset with Betsy Devos, but I think a lot of people maybe not understand why they should be upset. What's your perception, and why do you think that's a challenge for us to deal with someone like her?
So one of the main reasons why I was really upset about Betsy DeVos's confirmation was that she does not understand special education law. The main federal law is called IDEA, and she showed during her testimony that she did not understand what that was or that it was federally regulated. And for my students in particular who are vulnerable, marginalized, who need special services, I felt horrified that someone in her position at that level of government did not understand the special education system and the law that governs special education.
So if you are to be elected, what is your goals? What are some of your objectives, and what are some of the solutions you have?
So this is a statewide position for Arizona. So looking specifically at our state, one of my top priorities would be to have full day kindergarten for all students. That would really provide a big service to families. Instead of having to send their kids to daycare for half the day, they should be able to be in kindergarten for a full day, and that will also help their performance as they enter elementary school, middle school, high school, and beyond. I am also very concerned that Arizona has the lowest graduation rate of ELL students, and our state has so many Spanish-speaking students, and we have a big refugee population here. We have a lot of students who are learning English as a second language, and we need to address this issue so that we can increase our graduation rates as a whole, and this will also improve our economic stability as a community and state.
Why do you think Arizona is struggling so much? I mean, we have a daughter in high school right now, and I try to put my finger on the pulse of it. But coming from an educational background, what do you really see as what's the challenges you guys are facing? So, here.
The biggest challenge is that our schools are severely underfunded, and for the past 8 or so years since the recession, every single year there were cuts to education. So if you compare our state to other states, we're working with a much smaller budget than other states with a similar budget. Our teachers have one of the lowest teacher pays in the country, so we have poor teacher retention. Our teachers are moving out of state because they can easily make $10,000 more in Texas. They just have to go next door and they can make so much more money. So we have poor retention rates of teachers. We have poor, sometimes very high classroom sizes because of underfunding. So that is our biggest issue right now, is making sure that our schools have adequate funding.
If you had the floor here today and you were able to speak to the people in this building right now, what would you say to them?
I have a lot to say to them.
You're free to believe me.
I would talk again about my priorities, that we need full-day kindergarten, that we can find alternate means to fund education. I think, if the legislature isn't willing to increase funding and, if our communities are not willing to increase taxes to pay for that funding, we need to find alternate means to fund education, whether that's working with corporations. There's a strong business community here, and I feel like our community would support public education if we ask them. So I think that we need to start finding solutions, and that would make a huge difference in our children's lives.
Why do you think secularism is important?
Well, I went to public schools growing up, and then I attended a Catholic high school, and so I've seen, both separation of having, having religion in the schools and not in the schools, and I think that being secular is important because there are so many other belief systems. So whether it's Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, we have all of these faith communities in Arizona, and so if we are only focusing on Christianity and Catholicism, and those are a part of our government, then we're leaving out a big part of our population. We're excluding them, and it's disrespectful to those populations.
Sure. So if people want to find out more about you and what you're doing, where can they go?
I will have a website being launched this week, and the website is www.electkathyhoffman.com.
Okay, great. Kathy, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
All right.